What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another list written, directed, and produced by that guy everyone still thinks is Yammie, just with a magically deeper voice. Seriously, puberty doesn't happen that fast, and I'm not sure Yam would go about slowing himself down in post just to throw you guys off. Though, now that I think about it, that would actually be kind of funny. Yep, it's Spite here, and while we often talk about ripping around the track on some 600 built for small Italian men, or blasting down the freeway on your Busa proving to that Camry and your dad that no one's man enough to cut you off, today we're gonna get sensible and talk about 7 of the best mods you can do to make your motorcycling experience better. Because seriously, no one really needs a sprocket change or a super loud pipe, as much fun as both of those can be. No, these are 7 small and relatively inexpensive mods that can be done to just about any motorcycle regardless of style, and will in one way, shape, or form improve your riding experience. And to put my money where my mouth is, I'm going to show you that I've done every single one of these mods to at least one of my motorcycles. Before I get too far into this one, this video is sponsored by Ridge Wallets, the best in minimal everyday carry wallets, and I'll tell you about them later on. Let's do this. Number 7, a tool roll. Okay, so this one's not technically a mod so much as it is an augmentation, but a quality tool roll should be one of the first things you put on your motorcycle before you even go out on that first ride. That little plastic bag containing an Allen key, a pin spanner, and dinky little Phillips head will probably be just enough to make you regret not listening to me when your bike breaks down on the side of the road or you pick up a nail in your fresh rubber a mile from the dealership. In my case, I pack a Kriega tool roll with the following: pin spanners, 14 and 17 mil wrench, mini ratchet set, Allen set, screwdrivers, zip ties, pressure gauge, adjustable wrench, flashlight, tire plugs, and CO2 canisters. But Spite, I hear you cry, I don't ride around on an obese dad bike with all this extra room to carry all that junk in the trunk. I got a fast boy bike and I can't even fit a phone in my tail section. And it's true, a lot of sport bikes lack any kind of storage space under the pillion seat, but I would recommend carrying a tool roll all the same, either in a backpack or strapped to the tail. When I had my 919, I had to pull a power commander out mid-ride because it wasn't working right, and I had all the tools I need to completely disassemble my tail section without pulling into a shop or a gas station. A set of quality tools can be the difference between riding home and hitching a ride in the tow truck. You don't have to mimic mine, but you should absolutely carry the bare minimum to pull your fairings off, put broken parts back on, or fill a flat tire. Those will change from bike to bike, so check your manual to see what you need. A good set of tools and a bag to put them in shouldn't cost you more than $50, but it's money well spent. Number 6, an SAE lead and a 12-volt adapter. So you went out on a long ride and it's time to go home, but your phone's dead. Which combination of these ranch roads and highways will get you back before sundown, and which ones will take you to the next state? Well, if you had an SAE lead and a 12-volt adapter, you'd be able to charge your phone while you went and got a bite to eat. It might seem obvious to people, but I can't tell you the number of times I've been out on a ride and someone's asked to toss their phone in my bike so they can charge it and listen to music on their way home. An SAE lead is a super simple addition to your bike. Just hook it up to your battery and then the adapter can be hooked to a battery tender or, more importantly, a 12-volt USB adapter. That way you can charge your phone, your Cardo, your vibrator, whatever uses a USB outlet. The one I carry even has a voltmeter in it so I could check my battery's charge or the health of my alternator if I was so inclined. The real pro move, though, is using that 12-volt adapter to run power from your tail to your handlebars. That way you can charge your phone while it's mounted up. Just make sure you don't pinch anything and you leave a little extra slack in those wires. You can get all this done for like $20 on Amazon, and for the number of times you'll use it, your return on investment's pretty high. See, you don't need an economics degree to use a bunch of fancy jargon on the internet. Number 5, mirror wideners. Now you might think I'm a massive dork for slapping a set of these on my Interceptor, but before I did, all I could see in my mirrors was my elbows. And I'm not sure about you, but when I use my rear view mirrors, I kind of want to see what's going on behind me. These are usually super simple mods to put on, and in my case they were just a square-shaped piece of plastic. They don't add much weight, but they do add about an inch of width either side of the bike and raise the mirrors up about a half an inch, which, thanks to math, puts the mirrors clear of my elbows. A lot of people will tell you just to get bar-end mirrors, but more often than not, street bikes have their turn signals integrated into the stock mirrors. So not only will your mirrors vibrate like crazy at high speed, but you'll have to come up with another place to mount your front turn indicators. Also, do you know what those little pucks stuck in your handlebars are? They're weights to help you reduce vibration. Even a little weight at the end of a lever can go a long way to make your bars buzz less. The only problem with these mirror wideners is they are atrociously overpriced for what they are at $69.95 for 2 chunks of plastic. And again, I don't got me no economics degree, but that right there, That is not stonks. As long as we're talking about mods to help you in the day-to-day, when was the last time you looked at that wallet? Why the hell are you still carrying around that old Navy canvas trifold that your mom got for you when you were in the 4th grade? What's wrong with you? You need to throw that thing out and get yourself a Ridge wallet. I've been carrying a Ridge for over a year, and I tell you, it's the best wallet I've ever had. I even ran mine over with my Harley, and it's none the worse for wear, and that's like hitting it with a freaking steamroller. These wallets are made out of carbon fiber, aluminum, or plastics in a wide range of colors. They pack RFID blocking technology and have room for all of your cards and cash in one tiny package. Do yourself a favor, click that link down below and use the code YammieNoob to get 10% off the last wallet you'll ever buy. Now, let's see what's next on this list. Number 4, LED lights and a flasher relay. What's the only thing that might keep that texting soccer mom from plowing into you at a stoplight? A bunch of bright flashing LEDs. You can replace almost every light on your bike with LEDs that use less power, basically never burn out, and throw way more light than those factory incandescents. These will come in a few different flavors. You can get drop-in lights that'll fit your stock sockets, which will be a simple plug-and-play setup, and they're the cheapest. You can also get whole parts that'll either replace the entire light housing or replace the interior with a new LED panel. Those are typically more expensive, but they are lower profile and can have programmable flashing modes. I had a custom LED panel on my 919, and not only did it throw way more red light than 1,000 burning suns, but it flashed 10 times each time I pressed on the brakes. There wasn't a car for miles that couldn't see those lights. When you make the switch from incandescents to LED turn signals, you'll probably notice that the flash rate is super fast, or in some cases they might not even flash at all. That's where the flasher relay comes in. It'll cause the flash rate to go back to a factory 85 cycles per second, and if you get a nice one, you can even adjust it a little bit faster or slower if you'd like. Another added benefit to slapping LEDs on an older bike is it can make it look like a newer or more expensive bike than it actually is. That way you can flex on those MT-07 boys with your 1999 SV650. Number 3, an aftermarket seat. When I was making my living with the Duke video, I spent a lot of time in the saddle, and after about 30 minutes on the road, I couldn't bear to sit on it anymore. I was stuck in traffic one day, and I literally had to pull over and stand up for a few minutes just so I could get some feeling back in my ass cheeks. The problem is that a lot of bikes, including pretty much every beginner bike, use cheap foam that either wears out over time or just doesn't give you enough support from the get-go. The best solution is to get yourself a nice cushy aftermarket seat, and once you try one, you'll never go back. Another benefit to these aftermarket seats is they can slightly adjust your fit on the motorcycle. When I was starting out on my Street 750, the stock seat was too low and too close to the gas tank. I swapped it out for a new one which moved me back and raised me up about an inch in each direction. You could go the other way if you wanted, getting a smaller one so that you could touch the ground easier if you're vertically challenged. If you're looking to get a custom seat with a personal touch, I'd recommend checking out Corbin. They've been in the game forever, and you can customize the materials, colors, even the threads if you want. Don't get me wrong, you'll pay a premium for it, anywhere from $300 to $500, but like the old saying goes, you spend your money where you spend your time, and if it makes your bike more enjoyable to ride, then it's money well spent. Number 2, handlebar risers or raised clip-ons. This one might be tough for you fast boys since you don't have a lot of room to spare, but when I put risers on my Interceptor, it completely changed the feel of the bike. When you're riding in a forward lean for a long time, you'll feel a lot of pressure in your wrists, but with higher bars, the weight will be shifted from your wrists, where it's not meant to be, to the seat, where it is. When you don't have all your weight on the bars, your bike will feel a lot more nimble, and you'll be able to feel your fingers at the end of each ride. For those of you with clip-ons like my Interceptor, you can simply put a plate between the bars and the triple tree. Handlebars sells kits for all kinds of different bikes in all sorts of shapes and sizes, so you can customize your fit to your liking. If you have proper handlebars, you can get risers, wider bars, even rubber mounts so that you can have a perfectly tailored and perfectly smooth ride. This is another mod that is a must-have for guys on older bikes because it can really change the look and feel of your bike. These are a little bit more on the expensive side, with handlebars going for around $80 and bar risers and new handlebars definitely being north of $100, but trust me, it's worth it. Number 1, heated grips. Now this is the ultimate dad mode mod you can make to your bike, but when you do, you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. Let me set the scene for you. It's an early April Saturday morning and you and your buddies are going out for a ride. You've checked the weather and it's going to be a perfect 75 degrees out. But you've decided to get an early start so you can beat traffic on your route, so it's actually really closer to about 60. 50 minutes in, you can't even feel your fingers and you'd wish you'd spent that extra money and listened to me. I spent about $150 on mine, which might sound like a lot for grips, but trust me when I say it'll make your life so much better. If your bike has them as an option, buy them direct from the manufacturer, but if not, get yourself a set of Oxfords and never look back. No matter which way you go, they'll come with adjustable heat settings so you can get yourself right in that perfect Goldilocks zone. If you pair heated grips with some cold weather gear, you can add a couple of weeks or even months to your riding season. Of all the mods on this list, this is the only one I regret not putting on every single one of my motorcycles. And there you have it, 7 mods that actually make sense. Just one of these can make your life better, and all 7 will make your bike more comfortable than a leather wing chair in front of the fire. How many of these do you have on your bikes, or am I the only one out there trying to turn my sport bike into a cruiser? Thanks again to The Ridge for supporting us. Use that code YammieNoob for 10% off your order today. Also, don't forget to sign up for that R1 we're giving away for free over on YammieNoob.co. You can also get entered to win with any merch purchase on YammieNoob.com. And as always, I gotta give a shout out to our members and thank them for all of their support. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Fact: Pharaoh Pepe II was so bothered by insects that he had his slaves lathered in honey so they'd swarm them and not him. And you thought your boss was a pain.